Hello my friends, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited about today's video. This is going to be a series of videos. I don't know how many just yet, but this is going to be me sort of like documenting my journey with Theta Healing. I am incredibly excited. I have never been this excited about doing anything in my whole life ever before. Ever as in ever. I thought I was excited when I started to study astrology, but this is even more profoundly so. Even if it's just for me on a personal level, it ticks every box. It's everything. All right. So this video is really about how to know if Theta Healing is for you or any next step that you really want to take in your life. How to know if it's for you, and all I can really do is share my story, and you can see how that resonates, sort of like with you. So, as I said, most exciting thing for me personally that I have ever done, most amazing journey that I've ever embarked upon. So, how did I even come across Theta Healing? So this is a bit of an outstretched story. It's a bit of a longer, detailed story. But you know what? Even if you are at a space in your life right now where you are feeling stuck with something, where you are trying to make a decision, where you are trying to follow the guidance of the universe, or you want to know if it is spirit that is guiding you or what the vibe actually is, then there might definitely be something in this video for you. Okay, so welcome to the video. I'm Adrian Nelson. I'm a holistic wellness practitioner, and I welcome you to the video. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you for your support. Thank you for coming back. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate you subscribing, hit all notifications, and go to the comments and say hi. Let me know where in the world we are connecting from. I am in Cape Town in South Africa. Beautiful, beautiful sunny day today. And I'm starting my Theta Healing journey, training as a practitioner in less than a week. So I am incredibly excited about that. So for those of you that don't know what Theta Healing is, because had it not been for a certain set of circumstances, I wouldn't have known what Theta Healing is either. But I believe that things come into your life when and as they are meant to. That is what I believe. That is my firm belief. So this dates back probably about 20 years, where, but instead of going all the way back 20 years, which I'm going to do in a moment, let's go back about a year, just over a year. So just over a year ago, I kind of came out of the spirit of deep rest. So, I was having my own practice, which I was running from home, in Cape Town, in this area called High Level Road in Greenpoint. Beautiful, beautiful. I wake up in the morning, hear birds, foot of the mountain. Very beautiful. And I started to become very, very successful very, very quickly. And all my unresolved pain and trauma and insecurity and everything just kind of like, it just sort of like came out full steam. And I remember that I would walk down the road, like, sort of like with my best friend, and people would be like, oh, that's Adrian Nelson, or I remember this one day I was in the store and I had these 3 beautiful, friendly German people come to me, and I knew they were German because I asked them. I was trying to sort of like move the conversation back to them, because they were like, oh my goodness, you are Adrian, and we've seen you on YouTube, and you do like your weekly tarot readings, and they were so excited, and I was just so overwhelmed and so anxious, and can the floor just open up underneath me? And I still had a lot of things about being seen, and I didn't think that I was good enough, and you find all sorts of mistakes with yourself and all those sort of things. So it can be a very panic sort of experience sometimes, and that happens with a lot of people in life, where you become successful at something that you've worked really hard at becoming successful at, and then when that success begins to hit, you actually begin to feel very overwhelmed as a direct result of it, and what you actually work really hard for begins to actually feel like a curse, really, like the worst thing ever that could have happened to you. And so I'm very passionate about helping people through that sort of things, because I know how challenging it is. But anyway, so I left Cape Town for like about a year, And so I was staying at my sister's place. And, I was just going through my days. I was creating some online courses. I've got a couple of Udemy online courses. There's links for them in the description. So, sorry. I was just spending my day chilling around, reading books, not really doing all that much. And I remember I woke up this one day and the voice of spirit, the voice of source, the voice of the creator said to me, okay, Adrian, that's it now. You're done resting now. And I wasn't feeling prepared at all. Now, at this point, I've already been a practicing hypnotherapist for a while, for probably about 5 years. And I've had amazing successes in it. I just took to it. I was very good at it. I've become really good at my astrology. I've been doing tarot for like 20 plus years already. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a crystal healer. I'm just powerful, intuitive. Channeling is easy for me. So those are all things that I've already done. But I was looking for some sort of light, for some sort of guidance. It was like I was understanding that there was something else that was coming into my life that is really, really powerful. I knew that it had to do with my work. I knew that it would change everything. I just didn't know what it was, and I was actually kind of scared of it. And it's at this point that I somehow, by a whole series of divine intervention, really became better acquainted with the incredible Nianell, N-I-N-E-L-L. I'm going to put a link for her down below in the description. Now, I've been a fan of Nianell for many, many years. She is a singer, songwriter, multi-platinum award winner, singer, songwriter, published through Hay House. And so very, very big deal, like a massive, massive celebrity, especially in South Africa, mega star. And then I had one of her Theta Healing sessions. And up until this point, I've never really heard of Theta Healing. I was obviously familiar with Theta itself because, I'm a hypnotherapist and I'm a very, very good hypnotherapist. And I studied NLP and, at this point I was really getting into the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life and all those sort of things. And I started to study Thought Tarot, which really just opens a whole world for you. It's sacred geometry and all of these things. And it's also amazing. And I remember thinking to myself, just before I sort of make this connection with Nianell, I remember saying to myself that I wish there was a way that all of this could be under the same umbrella, because it's so much and it's so amazing. And slightly off the point, but I want to tell you that if you begin to study Thought Tarot, it will change everything for you. It really, really does. I've always used to wonder, what is this deal about it? Everybody's on about it. How amazing could it obviously actually be, And of course, life will sometimes humble you because that I studied it and I saw how amazing it is. And it's like an ongoing thing. So I then had this beautiful Theta Healing session with Nianell. And the session is only an hour. And I remember I wouldn't really say having my reservations, more like having my curiosity, because, she's been telling me incredible things about this modality. And, I was thinking to myself that, I do this beautiful quantum deep dive sessions and they go very deep and they're very detailed and, they're typically around 3-4 hours. I mean, sometimes even closer to 5. And it's just amazing. I was like, what could possibly top this? What could possibly top this? But I'm a very curious person. I like to know. I like to learn. I like to understand. So I actually become very intrigued by things that I don't understand and what I don't know. I love to learn, And but I only, my sisters always make fun of me because they're like, I'm either 100% there or not at all. There's no in between. And if you know anything about astrology, I'm a Cancerian, which can make me a little bit indecisive. But then my moon is in Aquarius, which is a very, broader thinking sort of energy. And my rising is in Sagittarius, or my ascending, same thing, really, is in Sagittarius. And there is that energy of new beginnings. Let's try something different. Let's try something new. So I've got that natural sense of adventure, And I feel fear like anybody else, but I don't let the fear determine my life. So instead of getting plonked down by problems, I choose to see problems as an opportunity to, to in a very gentle way, in a very powerful way, and a very empowering way to go to the next level. And I kind of got this change in mindset, obviously through a lot of, seeing a lot of clients and a lot of the studying that I've been doing through the years. And and also there was a time when I was highly suicidal, like highly suicidal. So I kind of have that understanding of what it feels like when you don't see a point to life. And I had this firm belief that I'm a mistake. God must have made a mistake. So I had a session with Nianell, and I remember I was mind blown by the session, and afterwards I asked her to have some time. And she said, yes, we can speak. And I was just intrigued, because I would be like, okay, so, and I, for example, would keep quiet at a certain point, and whereas she would speak faster and vice versa and stuff like that. And I suppose to the casual observer, it might sometimes seem like, like she even maybe like speaks over you in a session. But because I know that everything in these sessions are very intentional, I was very curious. I wanted to know, and I could feel the effect within myself. And I actually booked myself a second session afterwards, because it was incredible. Because I realized, now don't get me wrong, the regression hypnosis that I do, it is off the hook. Like, I mean, I have seen some mind-blowing miracles, but this was completely next level. And I also realized how deeply it must, really, or how effective it must be when it comes to changing your subconscious beliefs, because your subconscious beliefs very directly determine your experience of life. And so I saw how everything was just changing around me. So I knew that this modality, this Theta Healing, whatever it is, whatever it entails and encompasses, there is something very next level about this, so I became very curious about it. But then at that point, I was moving back to Cape Town. I had all sorts of things that were happening. And then I remember that, just literally like a week ago, Nianell came to me and she said to me, listen, Adrian, I know that you were quite, interested in studying Theta Healing, and I'm going to, present a set of coaching now, because she's a master Theta healer and holding a PhD in metaphysics and science with the University of Sedona. And if I'm incorrect about any of those things, I'm putting the link down in the description so you can check her out. You can see what she's all about. But it was so amazing to me because, for me, I love to teach and I love to learn. And I remember just prior to that, this 1 week, I went to a music show of hers, which was amazing because it's this incredible show. And then she's also doing sound healing in between the show, which it was everything to me. And then the following week, myself and my friend, we attended like a wellness day, like a seminar that she was having. And it was amazing. And I loved how she was just a real person, for somebody who has reached such, I suppose, success in, in this world. She's a very, very real person. I suppose, like Giselle Bundchen puts it, she didn't drink the Kool-Aid. So she didn't get to the point where she believed, oh my goodness, I'm a celebrity, I'm better than everybody else. So she didn't drink the Kool-Aid, And I'm a big fan of not drinking the Kool-Aid. So that was really great for me. But it's literally like the hand of the divine was in all of that. Now, when she came to me with this offer, with the suggestion that I study Theta Healing, I was saying to myself, well, you know what? It's the last 3 days is the first coaching, because I'm taking all 4 the foundational coachings. So there is Theta Healing DNA, so there is the beginner's one. And then there is the Theta Healing Advanced Coaching. There is Dig Deeper, and there's You and the Creator. So it's all about finding the patterns within yourself, within others that are not working for you, connecting to that God frequency, staying connected to that God frequency. And also I've been consciously working in my hypnotherapy quite a lot with the Theta mind state. And that is something that I just decided to myself, because there is the belief, especially when people come from sort of like a very strong QHHT background, quantum healing hypnosis technique, which is amazing, by the incredible Dolores Cannon. But a lot of times when people come only from that, and it takes a very strong sort of clinical approach to hypnotherapy, in my understanding. I haven't studied it myself, but I've interacted with quite a couple of people who have. And there's this 20 million rules of what you're not allowed to do and should and shouldn't do and whatever. But, there is this belief that you have to work with the somnambulistic state, which is this very deep state. It's deeper than Delta. So you're kind of gone like a light and you don't remember anything. And I've tried it a couple of times, and what often happens is that, the client can still hear me, but they're so deeply relaxed, they just can't bother to answer, And so I kind of figured out by myself that, theta mind state, which is like the dream state. So the experience is very much like having a lucid dream, where you are aware of the dreaming within the dream. So it's like a wakeful dream, And the Theta Healing is also often referred to as the God frequency. So I was very intrigued, and even by now I can be like a dog with a bone when I'm intrigued by and excited by something. So I have been asking Nianell questions nonstop, and I just wanted to know more and more and more and understand more and more and more, to a point that I thought this woman must be like, oh my goodness, But I'm pretty sure she welcomed it as well, and so she came to me with this offer, and everything inside me just said yes. Like, yes, big, mega, yes. And then, of course, I went to go to bed, and I woke up the following day, and my mind gave me like 1,000,001 reasons why I can't do this, because I'm moving, and where am I going to find the money, and where am I going to find the time, and, the coaching is online, and, what if I don't have Wi-Fi, and I don't have Wi-Fi in time, and I need to move everything, and I have to think about my dog. And at this particular point in time, which is about 2 weeks before the end of the month, I still don't actually know where I'm going to move to. Like, I don't know, but I do know that I need to be out by the end of the month. And so I give her all these reasons. And I think something that was really amazing to me is that just the way she came back to me, and she was like, what, this is a really great opportunity, so really think about it, meditate about it, but nothing forceful, nothing pushy, So realizing that I am coming from, a lot of deep-rooted subconscious fear, but still letting the decision be with me, which is something that a lot of instructors don't do. They try to push you and things. So I really appreciated that. And I promise you, I said yes, and I tell you not a word of a lie. Within the space of a day and a half, everything just worked out. And I believe that when we get to the space where everything just works out, that's when we, doing what we're supposed to do. But anyway, so I sent the message this morning, and she came back to me the afternoon. So in the meanwhile, I took my dog for a walk, and I live in sort of like very the central vicinity of Cape Town. So I took my dog for a walk, and there was a street child, and this really, really broke my heart. There was a street child, and he was injecting himself with a needle. And I don't really know what it is, but I assume that it must be a very cheap version of street heroin. And my heart just broke. It's like, it just really broke, And in that moment, it's like I had this awakening, I had this epiphany. And I've got a spiritual team, they call themselves Smile. To get an idea, they're basically similar to, I suppose, when you think of someone like Esther Hicks, with the teachings of Abraham, or sort of like Bashar. It's that same sort of thing, And I recognize this desire inside of myself, almost like a hunger, but like in a very healthy sort of way. It's more like a realization. It's almost like a awakening, like a light switch on inside of me. And I had this. It's a desire, but it's more like something that I recognized inside of me, to not necessarily help this child specifically, But if somebody in life does sort of get themselves into a very tight spot, into a very tight corner, going forward, if they want to get out of there, I was in the space that I felt I would really love to be able to help them. And as much as I already know at this particular point in time, I didn't feel like I had that really powerful tool in my box yet that I could, utilize to be able to, to maybe help others. And I'm not sure, obviously I'll still have like a practice and stuff like that, I imagine, but, maybe if I do some volunteer work at like a drug center or, maybe for like convicts or something like that, in a hospital, whatever the case may be. And I remember my spiritual team, so Smile, come to me and they asked me, have you ever considered that maybe you are here for a bigger purpose than you may have realized? And I understood that here didn't mean the specific sort of like, area that I was in, this part of the world. It was more like here on this planet. And I have to be honest, up until this point, I haven't really all that much thought about that too much, My life was pretty much about me and about my doggie that's sleeping here on my lap, my Jack Russell, and my practice. I love what I do. I really, really do. I love, helping people to align with abundance and doing tarot readings and, just talking, getting to that bottom of what is the belief behind this, regression hypnosis sessions, because people have this idea with hypnosis you have to be like gone like a light, which is actually not true. Hypnosis is not really about relaxing. Hypnosis is about directly communicating with somebody's subconscious mind to understand what is the belief within the subconscious that is creating you to have the experience that you have. So it's not about treating diseases or illness or problems or anything like that. It's about understanding what is causing you to have the experience and then focusing on that. Because if you change, because remember, as Louise Hay used to say, a belief is just a thought, and a thought can be changed. So if you can change the thought, then you can change the belief, and then you change your experience of life, because life is a mirror reflection of you. We project it outwards, and by projecting it, we experience it, and we believe it to be real. All right? So I was already on board with all of that, but I also understood, and I understood for a while, that I'm being guided towards something else that will change everything for me. And I remember that, Smile was talking to me, and at some point, the voice of the Creator. So I'm very good at distinguishing between sort of like my spiritual team, the voice of the Creator, the voice of Jesus. Hare Krishna likes to come through to me. I have, been able to really tune in and understand what are the different sort of vibrations, that I'm getting, and who it's from. So if it's a past loved one, or is it what we would call an angel or a guide, who it is and what it is. So the voice of spirit, I suppose you can call God. The Creator came straight through and said to me, you don't have to do this, but if you don't do this, you will actually miss out on quite a lot. There will be opportunities that are coming up, and you wouldn't be able to participate in those opportunities if you don't have this, this powerful foundation that Theta Healing is going to give you. So I thought, okay, that's quite interesting. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do this, because Spirit told me that the powerful story that you are going to tell people one day, the story of, elevating to that next level, you are in the part of that right now. So you're living it right now. Because remember, I had a lot of fear. I didn't know where I was going to get the money from, or where I was going to get the time from. Everything in my outside world was saying to me that this is not the time to do this. But then I also remember that, with us existing of atoms, being atoms, and deeper level, even protons, we carry within us all the knowledge. So when somebody comes for a hypnosis session, sometimes, and of course during the years I got better at it, so I can already know what some of these self-sabotaging preventative things could be sometimes for people. So I would prepare them for this, so I don't have to go down that. But the tire will fall off the car, and the cat's on the roof, and the dog got sick, and you sprained your ankle. And it's sort of like these things that you can't really dispute because they are there, But when we don't understand, or we can't accept that we create our own reality, then it seems like those things are just happening to you, and that you don't have any control over it, because we think that the outside world is impacting us, when in actual fact we are creating the outside world. So we are actually impacting the outside world by our focus and our energy, but predominantly that comes from the subconscious mind, you know. And I remember how my life has changed and how easily my life has changed after I had these 2 sessions. So it was so amazing. I remember I was reaching my hand down to pick up my phone to let Nianell know that I'm going to do this. And I was going to say to her, listen, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know about sort of like, you know, the money and the time and all of those things, everything. Nothing in my world is supporting this possibility right now, from what I can see, you know. But I was like, you know what, I'm just going to say yes to this because it feels right. And that's when she came back to me with this amazing message. Literally, I kid you not, my hand was like this, going towards the phone, you know, when the message came through. So, and since I said yes, I said, Source, okay, then you take care of everything within the space of a day and a half. Everything, as in everything, took care of itself. Down to my dog being taken care of, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I remembered that, so the next one that I really, really wanted to study was intuitive anatomy, which is 15 days. So it's 5 days on and 2 days off at this particular point in time. And I really, 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 really wanted to do that. But the one thing that would sort of like boggle things over is that, you know, so if I remember correctly, the first and the second, so the first Theta Healing and the second one, you know, Theta Healing Advanced, they are 3 days. So I'm like, okay, I can work those 3 days and then dig deeper and you and the creator, which is amazing. I think those are 2 days. So I could still work that, you know, and so for weekends. But intuitive anatomy, I was like, you know, 15 days is it's a bit of a long time for me to be taking off over during the day. And I said, oh, if only this could be, you know, during the nighttime, it will be so amazing. Guess what happened? Guess what happened? Directly after that, get another message from Nianell and says to me, I know that you mentioned that you might want to look at intuitive anatomy. I just want to let you know that if you do take it, then I am going to be presenting it during the evening for people that are working. I was like, what? You know? So what, you know, and this is divine intervention. And it's really, really amazing because in Theta Healing, it speaks about, you know, divine intervention and divine timing. But what's also really amazing to me, even when they teach you about soulmates and, you know, sort of like, I suppose, epiphanies and miracles and those sort of things, sort of like alignment, is how to be very clear about what it is that you want and how to, how do I say this? How to sort of like speak to the universe in such a way that when you get your manifestation, it really does align with your highest good. And that really intrigued me because it's happened twice before in life where I have manifested and gotten exactly what I wanted, and when I got it, I realized this is not actually what I want, and I would call it manifesting yourself into a tight corner or manifesting yourself into a tight spot. So, you know, and then I started to do some research, and I came across some videos with Vianna Stibal, who is the founder of Theta Healing. Incredible person. I love her energy. I love her sense of humor. Also, obviously, didn't drink the Kool-Aid because she's just a very real person. And, you know, she was just in a regular videos, you know, on YouTube, which you can go look up, and she was speaking about, I'm going to teach you some simple things on how to connect and simple things on how to connect to the divine and how to manifest and to make sure that what you get is what you get. And I was just mind blown, you know, and I was saying to myself, these are simple things. You know, I can't wait to get into this coaching because, you know, I've firsthand seen the evidence in my own life of how powerful this modality is. You know, I really love the way that Nianell coaches, so that appeals to me. And it's like everything just lined up, you know, and even something that she said, and I'm just sharing this with you because it was in one of her, you know, it was in, I think she mentioned it twice in some of the YouTube videos that I've seen of hers. And she was speaking about when you want to manifest, it's always better, and I thought this was such an interesting concept. She said it's better when you manifest to write out a list with 20 things because you actually keep your mind busy, and your mind is almost like a human being. It typically does better when you send it to the store with a shopping list instead of just one or two things, you know. And so I did that, and all of a sudden things just started to happen. And I thought that was really, really cool, because I've never really sort of taken that approach to, you know, to abundance manifestation before. So that is really, really amazing. And I'm going to say that if you are interested in Theta Healing, maybe do go and look up, you know, Vianna Stibal. It's Vianna, and then the last name is Stibal, or Stibal, Stibal. You know, incredible lady. And so I'm just very, very excited to be doing this coaching. I am so incredibly excited to be doing this coaching, because just the simple free exercises that were on YouTube that I've already tried, they have had such a powerful impact on my life that I can't wait to incorporate this into everything that I do. I can't wait to incorporate this into my life and into my practice, you know. And I think also something that I really loved about this modality is that, you know, I'm a Reiki master. I've been a Reiki master since 2018. I started with Reiki level 1 in 2013. And Reiki is very much about, you know, calling in that pure energy of the divine, you know, through your being, through your heart, and then channeling it for the client, you know. So you channel the energy through you, which is a beautiful thing. But there has, you know, it's sometimes you can just get all sorts of things with your own personal energy that can mess you up when you do that. And I remember that in my Reiki coaching, when I teach students, you know, I spend a large portion of that time on teaching people how to protect your energy, how to cleanse and clear, you know, so that you don't get negative energy hits by the session that you do. And even with crystal healing, which is another great passion of mine, and sound healing. That is really how Nianell and I got very excited, because, you know, she's been a Theta healer for just over 10 years now. And we're both very passionate about sound and the potential of sound, because the human body consists, you know, predominantly of water, and, you know, how that sound vibration and stuff can work on that and stuff like that. So that's where we got started. But with Theta Healing, you directly you help the client to connect directly to the energy of source, the energy of the creator. I'm telling you, it is profound. And you get there quickly. You know, it's a quick, powerful thing. And, you know, I know that a lot of people are very on about rapid transformation hypnosis these days. And of course, the incredible Marissa Pierce have really refined this and worked it into an actual modality where she teaches people how to do this incredible, you know, rapid transformation that she does. But then, of course, contrary to popular belief, people like to put labels on stuff, you know. Rapid transformation has been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years, you know, because hypnosis has been around for thousands of years. And I've been practicing it a lot with my clients as well, because, you know, sometimes you can just quickly do stuff. But then when I came across Theta Healing, it is next level. It is so next level. And it is hypnosis and NLP and access bars, and you know, something that I am highly intrigued by is epigenetics, and something else that I'm actually studying at the moment. You know, it's a beginner course, but it's very it's like a 100-hour beginner course with Dr. Najib. But, you know, neuroscience and neuroanatomy, which is, it's mind-blowing. And so in Theta Healing, you learn all these things. You know, and this is what I love about it, because I think what has really sort of sent me on my path of exploration is that for me, it's never just been good enough that it's just, you know, your angels coming in and blah, 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 blah. I wanted to understand scientifically why things work the way that they work. You know, and when I say scientifically, I mean hard science, metaphysics, you know, energy, different layers of energy. There's also something really incredible in Theta Healing, which has got me very excited, because when I was reading the Kabbalion and studying it and reading it over and over and over, They speak about the 7 planes of existence, but then they don't really go that in-depthly into it. Now, remember, I really wanted that in-depth information, and I couldn't find it until, again, I came, across Theta Healing, which breaks down these 7 planes of existence like they just break it down. It's so amazing. And so I can't, I'm so excited to even just get to that point as well. And so that is just really my motivation for studying Theta Healing. I wanted to take you through the journey as I progress through it, but I just wanted to share sort of like why I'm going this direction, and for me, it's all about, I wouldn't really say taking on something new. It is about building on what I already have, what I already know, what I already understand, what I already mastered. And the wonderful thing about mastering something is that, once you've mastered it, you realize that there's more to learn. So I think a true sign of mastery is understanding that you are the eternal student, because when there's nothing to typically study on this earth plane anymore, then, I mean, poof, you can just as well leave, because earth is a school. We play out all these roles here, the soul expressing itself and experiencing itself in different ways, the different fractals of light. So that is very, very interesting. And it's amazing for me how in a 1 hour session, because that's the one thing with regression hypnosis that, and I mean, I studied it all, womb clearing, and healing and trauma healing and past life regression and future life progression, because time doesn't really exist there. Life between lives, where your consciousness travels through the space where you weren't incarnated in like an avatar, so you're like not a body or a human or a tree or a plant or a rock, or people experience themselves as all these incredible things. That it's almost like you travel to that space where you can become the observer of your manifestation, of your so-called reality as a soul, having a human being experience. And you really, I can really say this is like, I suppose for lack of a better term, you can say that you are really going to the Akashic records. You are going to the library, to really understand and to make fast, positive, lasting changes. And that is what really intrigued me with this, because everything that I do is all about helping others. It's about empowering others. It's about helping them to be the best version of themselves, So I am highly, highly excited to embark on this journey. I'm highly excited to share, with you on this journey. And whatever it is that you are feeling a passion towards in your life, my beautiful cosmic sibling, I just want to say to you that if you feel that yes inside of you, and you don't know how you're going to do it, but you understand that somehow Spirit is guiding you. If Spirit leads you to it, Spirit will also open the way for you. All you got to do is say yes. All right. So that's what I have. Hope that it helps. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to your comments. From my heart, namaste, love and light. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.